Hello, my name is Corey Mullings. I'm gonna be the first person presenting our level today. Right here, we have the adventure campsite. This is the level that we're given, and our adventure begins. This is where we start. So right here is the beginning of my level. First, we have a beach and a forest, and I had it set up in such a way that players will immediately be able to see exactly where they need to go. First off, there's a light right there, and that's what's gonna catch the player's attention first. So they're gonna start heading over there, and they'll pass by this key. The player is gonna grab the key and then head to the light to see what's going on. Climbing up on the ledge, the player is gonna see a chest. That's the first thing that grabs their eye, and they're gonna check to see what's in the contents of the chest. The contents of the chest is a lumber axe that is used for a vault later on in the level. Looking around, the player is going to try and figure out where to go next. They'll look until they see that there's a ledge taking them on the golden path. They will follow the path until they get further into the forest, where they'll look around and see two pathways. One with a colorful crystal pointing them in a direction, another where there's nothing of real importance. The player will most likely go down this path. We'll come up on the next part of my level, a small climb towards the river. The river is the focal point of my level and where I had a lot of fun making. I was able to redesign a lot of meshes and fit rocks in certain ways to give it a naturally pleasing aesthetic. There's one simple path that the player should follow while going on the river, and it leads to the vault. Using the contents of the chest earlier, they're able to cut down the tree and progress onward. Nearing the end of the river, the player is able to see that there's one special way to go. Following that path, the player will go all the way and enter the end of my level, the cave. Now, just like earlier, I used crystals as a golden path to kind of guide the player in which way to go, but I also used lights and jutting out from the top of the cave to point the player into the first direction they should go. So knowing that, the player will see the light and decide, oh, let's go check it out. From here, the player will realize the blue crystals shine in the lights, pointing in this direction, highlights in the climbing ledge that they need to go on. They will continue to follow the crystals, pointing them in the direction needed to exit the cave. In the last part of my level, there are only two objects, a tower and a giant gate, being blocked. The player will naturally try to go to the boulder and realize that they have no way of accessing the boulder, as a pickaxe is required. And they will then check the tower. Entering the tower, the player will now see that there is a small parkour set up for them to figure out what's on top. And after climbing to the top, the player will be rewarded with the item needed to progress onwards. After breaking down the boulder, the player is now able to transition towards Najee's amazing level. Take it away, Najee.
Thank you. Hello, how are you? My name is Najee, and the play will start in what looks like a forest. You see a lot of bamboos, trees, and rocks. The player will come through and go up these stairs. I set up a path for the player to cross these logs here to make it up to the top. A player told me to fix these logs because it was looking in a straight direction. So I had them fixed and placed them in different ways so it'll be entertaining for the player. Up here into the shrine. Now I like how I made this shrine because it gives off that Japanese culture. plus the trees and the pebbles. The player will then come down, and this path I set up for the player to jump across very carefully. Over here, sees a chest. Nothing. Comes up. Then goes inside, transitions into the inside temple. Now, a player told me that when he entered this transition, to the right he saw a void, the void. So I had that covered up with rocks. The player will then go inside the temple that I created. I like how I made this temple inside look. How the poles are down, some are broken. I set up these 3 poles here so that it would give the player an idea to jump on. Comes here, sees a bookcase, a cube. The player's gonna come down here. In this zone here, I set up this path for the player to go through these spinning spikes very carefully. This path is for the player to jump across these ledges here without hitting the water. Then the player will come here to this gate. It's locked. So the player will need to grab the hammer and ring the bell in order to open the gate. See the gate open? We go through. Then we transition into the level end. Come across these rocks here. And then finally, we enter the last temple. And last person I'm going to present for the last level is Aday. Take it away.
Hello, hello, hello. You know, it's Day. Gotten the best level out here, other than the lodge, of course. But I'm kidding. But this is my level transition into my level. You'll be climbing up this cliff right here to come upon my actual level start. Upon my level start, you'll see 2 pyramids, which just indicate the area and the time. It's like Aztec, Mayan times, but they're in the desert. I have this chest here just to signify for the player to see that there is a focal point that they need to head to. Coming back down here, they'll come down this way and follow the river down and around the corner. The river does no damage to the player, but that does. I would jump on it right now, but it's going to send me back to the beginning. Let me get the checkpoint. Jumping on this will send the player back. Going up here, you have a bit of parkour that leads to your focal point, which is the tower. As you enter the tower, you make your way down to the bottom where people used to live. Down here, you'll see props and everything. Here, you have more stuff to signify pre-civilization. Oh, my cave has 2 ways as well. This way happens to be the scenic route. Well, players can take either way. They both lead the same way. Walking through here, you'll come across the caves, which leads you to a mine. Going through the mines will take you down and around to more mines. Oh, my breadcrumbing. These little bricks here are breadcrumbs because as I was building my level, I gotten feedback that said they didn't know where to go because there was no clear breadcrumbs or leading lines. So I added those. Here we have my level end. This happens to be my favorite part, my most favorite worked on thing. I love this part. I love my entire underground river system. You're making your way through here to I would say the library at the end, where civilization used to be. As you're walking through here, you'll see debris floating in the river. You want to make your way across bridges to get to this key over here that you would collect and use later on. By later on, I mean like right up ahead. As you're going through here, you'll see pillars that indicate that something fell, something was here. Going down, come to this door, and you'll interact, which will open up to an area where civilization used to be. Tables, rocks, bookshelves. As you come out of my area, you'll go here towards the end transition, which transitions from my area into the Adventure Lodge. And as you get to the Adventure Lodge, you're told to stay a while. So, how about we do that?